Okay, we are live. We're
We're
back.
live and we're back.
We're live and we're back.
Oh my gosh. And we didn't have a music intro.
Yeah, I know.
So we're working on that.
It's been some time. I actually didn't even take the time to figure out how to get it to work. So, but you know, it happens.
I feel like we're kind of like winging it, but that's fine because we're back. Welcome to Down by the Stream. I'm Chelsea.
Hi, everybody. Ramiro here, or Savage, as a lot of the people and friends like to call me. But yeah, this is Down by the Stream. It's a little live cast, podcast, all cast.
We get to talk about life and ask weird questions.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
welcome. And welcome back if you were here, 2 years ago? It's been quite a while.
Yeah, I think the last time we did it was, what?
It was still 2020. It was late 2020.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And then I went back to work and then Fabian moved and then we all gave up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, as you guys can tell, Fabian is no longer with us. He moved out to Connecticut, and he's got a lot of stuff going on out there. So that's awesome. We're all really excited for him.
We miss him, but we're happy for him.
Exactly. And yeah, there's a lot of things that have happened since then. We all know how 2020 went, and how 2021, the beginning of it, kind of went. So it's kind of nice to be able to.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Have a little bit of a normalcy here, and we won't get into that stuff because I'm sure we're all kind of over that.
We're past it. It's 2023. Hi, Christine.
Oh, yeah, hi, Christine. But we got some topics for you guys, and we got some, just some random stuff, and as we kind of continue doing this and going through this little resurgence, if you will, we'll have a little bit more of clear-cut ideas and things that we want to kind of talk about. But honestly, I'll just think of something and I'll write it down in my phone and I'll call it.
And I'll think of something and I'll forget to write it down in my phone.
Yeah.
So that's how that's going.
It happens. I mean, I always come up with random ideas, and I always come up with, just different topics, and most of it comes from Facebook. So
what are we talking about today?
Okay. So today,
let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it. Well,
there's only 3 people here. I think I'm one of them because I want to see the comments.
It's fair. That is totally fair.
Oh, look at my double chin. Share with your friends my double chin and our topics.
Yeah. Well, real quick, a lot of people don't know what's happened in between that time. So you're back to work.
Yes.
Yeah, you're doing your stuff. Because last time we weren't doing nothing. But you're back to work. I'm actually back to work as well at my old job. But something very exciting happened in between that time period. And, it's really cool if you guys have been following us.
That's so hard to do.
So, yes, Chelsea and I did get engaged this past summer, back in July. It's been a long time coming, but
so we're planning a wedding, and that's fun.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on this year. So 2023 is going to be a lot of fun. So stick around. We're going to try and do our best to keep you guys, going with what we're doing and keeping up with.
Yeah, Jill's here. Hi, Jill.
Keeping up with us, I guess. I guess our version of the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ideas and topics, I did write them down. So which one did you want to start on, though?
I don't even remember. You get to pick.
Okay.
The master topic generator.
I know, right? We'll start with what we did this past weekend, or this past week. Or last weekend to this weekend. So
Kathy's here.
Hey, hello. So first topic is the Spiderman movies. Which one was the better one for you? So
okay, are we talking like all like does that include like the very last one?
I mean, it's opened up. So I mean, it's
Okay.
really open to what you want to do.
Favorite Spider-Man for me, unpopular opinion, Andrew Garfield
Okay.
is my favorite Spider-Man.
See,
I love him so much.
I agree with you, but I think I agree because he's so witty on some of the things he says back.
He's witty. He's kind of relatable because he's kind of like the edgy like skater like hot kid I would have dated in high school. I think that's also why I kind of like him. I'm not gonna lie.
So
I like him.
what I used to dress up in high school.
Yeah, and still now you're skinny jeans and stuff. So
Yeah,
that's
I
why
guess that's fair.
he's my favorite.
Okay.
But I do like his sense of humor. I think he's very like sarcastic and witty, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But the new one is like my favorite movie, where it brings spoiler alert, where it brings all of them together.
Okay, so like,
Is it really spoiler alert when it's been like that for like a year?
yeah, if you haven't seen it,
Sorry, not sorry.
That's on you. I will agree. I really do like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. The Toby will always be like, I don't know.
Toby's like
I
the
think it's
OG,
emotional,
and it's like
Toby's good.
Toby's
like him.
great. I feel like so many people like don't like the Amazing Spider-Man and like they don't like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. I feel like he is like the least favored Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think it's only because they don't think he follows what the comic portrayed Peter Parker as.
But there's different like storylines of the comics, isn't there?
I mean, yeah, but the diehard fans are the ones who are like, oh, he needs to be like the shy guy who's kind of like, essentially, what I've heard is the good movie, like the best Spider-Man movies are, I think, what people said is, Tom Holland's, just because
because he's
how
like
it's
dorky
pretty-
and
pretty
whatever.
intense.
But
yeah, but
I love Tom Holland, his
no,
Spider-Man.
no,
I
the
do.
best- who was it? There's like three different things. So the best Peter Parker was Tobey Maguire. The best Spider-Man was
Tom Holland.
I think no.
So then
Andrew
Andrew Garfield
Garfield.
just gets like left in the dark.
And no, Andrew Garfield. And then the best movies was Tom Holland's.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. I could be wrong. There's something of that sort of like where it splits into three. Like they're all in their own little
Maybe.
categories.
I need to see. I can't see comments here. Is anybody even saying anything? Have to agree.
Yeah, I mean, Christine says Toby is the one that she likes.
I love Toby. And the thing is too, is like, I feel like when we watched the latest Spider-Man, when we went to see it in theaters, my heart was like, I forever will love Tobey Maguire. He's going to be my favorite Spider-Man. But like rewatching all of them, like now, like Andrew Garfield is my favorite for sure.
Yeah. And that was the one thing that I wanted to do. So what we did is we literally watched all, 8 movies consecutively.
Yes, I accidentally started that.
It was like on a random Saturday morning. We are just like, yeah, let's just go through it.
What was my hair doing?
But
Cute.
yeah, we started with, Toby's 1 through 3. Then we did Andrew Garfield 1 and 2, which I really do hope they do a third one for him. Then I just threw in.
They wouldn't though now.
I mean, you never know. It's possible.
Yeah, I guess.
It's not. I mean, at this point, it's never too late.
Well, because they brought him back.
Yeah.
And now it's a Spider-Verse.
Yeah. And I just threw in Infinity War and Endgame just because those are
because you
really
have
good
to.
movies,
That was
yeah.
when Tom Holland was really, you saw what he was made of and his Spider-Man character. There was a lot of character development, I feel like, in those movies
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah. And then we did, obviously we did, Spider-Man 1 or Toby's. Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and then we did the Avengers, and then we did the last two right after that.
Yeah.
But being able to see that expansion and then seeing the very last scene or the very last movie with all of them in it was really kind of cool to just see it come full circle. So it was
It was. And it was still like, I don't want to say gut-wrenching, but like the opposite of that, where it's like your heart's so full when Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man gets to save MJ.
Oh yeah,
It's like he gets that moment and it's like so great. I'm like, I'm gonna cry again. It's so good.
Every time I watch it, I always feel like I'm gonna cry, just because it's like such a powerful scene. Especially if you watch all of them together and then you get to see that happen. It's a really, it's awesome. Like you really root for that because you know what's happening, and then if you've seen it multiple times, you kind of understand. But yeah, it's really interesting to kind of see just how versatile all of them are, and I mean
how different and yet the same still. Like the characters are.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean that was one thing that was a lot of fun. We tend to do that a lot with movies. You know, we'll pick something that, you know, I think we mentioned this in the earlier podcast, but we did like the entire MCU.
That was like what we first did when we all got laid off from COVID. We were like, let's do like a marathon of all the MCU movies.
Yeah.
That's kind of what started this.
Essentially. And trust me, if you were to do it now and you were to actually follow some of the timelines that they have online, it would take you weeks, because now you have like Loki, you've got
remember when we were going to start Star Wars and how that didn't happen? Because like Loki came out and stuff like that. Oh yeah,
that's right. Yeah. We were going to do the whole Star Wars one.
Yeah.
We did Jurassic Park.
That one's like manageable.
Yeah. I feel like we did another one. I can't remember though. Oh, I started randomly doing the Harry Potter ones because I haven't seen them all.
I haven't seen them all either. I'm not super into Harry Potter. Don't hate me. Don't hate me, world. I'm going to let internet hate for that. If this episode ever blows up on the internet, a lot of people are going to hate me.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's not that I don't like Harry Potter. It's just like not my favorite.
Yeah, it's not your thing. I mean, I just like watching something that I never gave a chance to, like back when I was younger, because I never really paid much attention to those movies. Now, one that I may not ever do is like the Twilight series, unless like...
Oh, see, yeah, I'm going to get more hate for this because I love the Twilight series, and I have no idea why, because it's so stupid. That was also really bad that I would even say that on the internet. Don't cancel me. It's a lot, and I can't believe I like it because, like, Kristen... What's her name?
No, that's...
Kristen
Stewart?
Kristen Stewart is very blah as an actress. Like just like one, like she's very monotone as like a person. She fits great with that character, but like other things, I don't know. I don't want to like talk. Okay, it's fine. It's already too late. It's fine.
I don't know. I
hate it or love it. I really like talk shit about Kristen Stewart, and it's not that I don't like her, but I do because I like Twilight. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. How'd we get here?
I don't know.
Sorry.
Well, I was just saying like I wouldn't watch those, but if someone were to have been like, hey, like you should give them a shot, I'd give them a shot. But I'm not going to go out of my way.
I just laughed at Amina's comment. She said that Chris just lost his shit when I said that I like Twilight, but I don't like Harry Potter.
Oh.
Sorry. It's okay. It's not that I don't like Harry Potter. I just like never like dove into it as much. Like I tried to read the books and I couldn't do it. And then like we always watched the movies, but I don't even remember the last Harry Potter movie that I watched. I will say though, I haven't watched Twilight movie in probably 8 years. Yeah, so it's been a while. It's not like I watch it every weekend because I'm bored. So let's calm down.
I think the last one I watched was, I think, before they split the last one. I don't remember what it was called, but
I don't remember either. Okay, so I'm not even, yeah.
I went through most of pretty much all of them except for the last two where they had to split the movie. But, I mean, I thought they were great. I thought they were great movies. Am I going to go buy a wand from Universal Studios? No, but
I will try butterbeer.
I'll try that. I'm up for that as well.
Let's go.
Speaking of that, Universal Studios, Super Mario Land.
Oh, that thing, yeah.
That I'm
We
pretty
should go.
excited for.
We should go. I also haven't seen Star Wars Land though at Disney. I
Oh
haven't
yeah,
gone
you
there yet.
haven't, huh?
No. Okay.
That's right.
I've seen like Star Wars attractions, but Star Wars Land wasn't finished the last time I went because I have that picture of you with the what the whatchamacallums. Oh my god, I'm having a brain fart. This is embarrassing.
The Ewoks, the
No,
stormtroopers.
the stormtroopers. I have that picture of you with the stormtrooper because you went like this and he like looked at you like because you tried to like
Fist bump them.
yeah.
I don't remember that.
I'll show you the picture.
Were we in universe? Were we in?
We were in Disneyland, and I think it was for one of the ones for Eli's birthday.
Oh, okay. I thought it was California Adventure, and we had a bunch of beer, so that would have made sense. But
Might have been. I don't know.
but yeah, no, the Super Mario Land. I'm really excited for that one. I heard that the tickets were so sought after they broke Universal's website.
Really? For the
Yeah.
Super Mario Land? So what's there?
I mean, I don't know. I never really dug into it because they kept a lot of their attractions kind of like secret, other than like you can get wristbands that interact throughout the entire like park. So like if you want to like you can like grab coins and stuff, and like you have to find like secret little
that
stuff.
sounds fun.
They have their version of like what would be Mario Kart, but
We could take a little vlog or something next time. We'll go.
yeah.
I'm in.
Like shops and stuff, but I don't know exactly what they've got there. Like I don't know what.
See how many coins we can get.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what they have there, but that should be exciting. And then part of Universal too is the Hogwarts part as well. So it's all kind of like a. I don't know if it's separated though.
I don't know. I haven't been to Universal in oh god, since like the first year I moved out here.
Yeah. Yeah,
I had one of those year passes for Universal, which was really fun.
Last time I went, it was right before I moved out here. I think it was like early 2010 or like mid 2010s, something like that. Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I haven't been back. Although, on top of that, Universal's just pulling out all the stops because they're now doing a year-round horror theme park.
Wait, what? A year-round horror theme park?
In Vegas, yeah.
In Vegas?
Mm-hmm.
Who's down? Who wants to go?
I'd be down to do that.
Let's go. Let's all go. Whoever wants to go.
I think it'd be a lot of fun to do that, but that's something that you don't see happen.
You know what, though? I have to take you. This is too close to my face. I have to take you to Erebus. Amanda, hey, we're still here. Amanda and Chris, you guys. Erebus. So it's like the biggest haunted house like in North America or whatever. And it's in Pontiac, Michigan. So it's like really close to my mom's house.
Okay.
But we have to go in October. Jesus, brain fart. Come on. We have to go during Halloween time because that's when they set it up. And it's different. It's a two-story haunted house. And they change it every year. It's different.
Okay.
I think I've only been like once, maybe twice. I can't remember. I remember though we went and it was like I remember I went to one haunted house and it was buried alive, and I don't remember if that was the one. And then I remember there was like dinosaurs and stuff jumping out at us. But Amanda, you should go too. If Chris will go with us, Amanda should go too. Amanda said Chris will go with us. I want us to all go.
I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think that's something that's really unique because horror stuff is like not a huge thing that really
horror, not horror.
Sorry,
just so everybody's clear.
Yeah. It's usually something that doesn't stick around because they always stick it, to Halloween. But to have something year round would be really interesting to kind of to see.
You think maybe they like use like the hashtag like goth kids to make sure because that's their target market, I guess.
I know, right?
If it's gonna be like a year round thing.
But I mean that'd be something that's completely different too.
Also, though, I find interesting because like when Wednesday Addams came out, like, and this speaking of like spooky vibes and stuff, so like it came out after Halloween in November, and then it got so popular. So I wonder too if that's kind of like they're kind of riding that wave a little bit.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I feel like
I think it's more coincidence than anything, but it's definitely a wave to ride on.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've been planning it for some time, and it just happened to drop. They happened to just drop it during that time anyway. But um, uh, that's possible. That's completely possible. I mean, I don't know. But then again, I feel like Universal's just trying to do whatever they can to
Yeah,
like
for sure.
open up their stuff. Because
Have you ever went to Universal Studios in Florida?
no, I've never been to the United Kingdom either, or like the Disney.
Not the
Kingdom.
United Kingdom. That's not what you meant to say.
Yes, that's what
Disney World.
Disney World. Yes, that one.
Epcot is the one that they have. Like, that's the part of the park that they don't have out here. Well, among other things. I think they have other things. I haven't been to Disney World since I was a kid.
Never been, but I mean, it'd be cool to go.
Yeah,
at
we
some
should go.
point. But I mean, yeah, that's just a lot. There's a lot of stuff that is just kind of starting to come out this next year. So, but I don't know. You guys let us know what to just recap. What's your who's your favorite Spider-Man? Either who plays a better Peter Parker?
Spider-Man.
I know that's just kind of how it all kind of jumped over. But who's your favorite Spider-Man? Who's your favorite Peter Parker? And which movies are better? That way we can get an idea of which one is which.
We'll create a map. I'll make it a Facebook post, an Instagram post. I don't know. Am I really gonna do that?
A map.
We'll see.
The map.
The map. A map.
All right. Let's see here. So, to kind of stick into like the media stuff and all that good thing. So, I don't remember where I heard this from. I think it was either like on the radio, on the show or something like that. But there was a discussion about how music is starting to get really, really basic. So, it's kind of how Bo Burnham put it. Repeat stuff. It's the same.
I could have
beats,
said
it's
that
nothing
when
too crazy.
Iggy Azalea came out with her song that I don't like, that got her very big, because it sounded like Apple Music loops.
I mean, yeah.
Just
But-
a very like computer generated bass. But again, it's the repeat stuff, and then that's what people like.
Yeah. Well, because a lot of it, and they were discussing how, and I see it on Facebook posts and on Instagram all the time too, where they'll have, a little split screen and they'll have like Tupac lyrics, and then they'll have, I don't know, somebody who's more modern, Lil somebody, whoever, on the other, and how they'll just describe how
Little somebody.
Lil somebody. I'm sure there's somebody named that. But they have like, they'll have one of Tupac's lyrics where it's like super detailed about like either an event or something that was like has super powerful lyrics behind it, and it was like something that a lot of people gravitated towards, versus where today it's kind of like bland, or there's not
I think
a
it
whole lot
depends.
behind
I
it.
think it depends on who you're talking about, because like artists like, was it Lil Peep?
Mm.
I know you don't know and or like him, but
I mean, I may have heard some stuff.
It was Lil
but-
Peep, right? That's the one that passed away. Yeah, it was Lil Peep.
Oh, he was shot down in his car, right?
Yeah,
Or
and
something
so they have like the freaking the Netflix series about him, and it like kind of made me cry, because then you kind of realize like what his lyrics were actually about. So I think it's kind of like not necessarily like less deep. I think it's a little bit more misunderstood.
Yeah, because I think too, like the mainstream, the biggest one for me is like the mainstream.
I'm literally
stuff,
looking
I
it up
guess,
right now.
Is where it kind of gets a little.
Yeah, it was Lil Peep.
Okay. Where I think it's mainstream music and more pop music, and it's funny because people say, oh,
It was like Juice WRLD. Like
rock's not pop or blah blah blah. So if anybody, and correct me if I'm wrong, but from my understanding, pop music is popular music. So it can
Yes.
be literally
any genre.
genre. So if there's a metal song that's popular, that's a pop song, but it doesn't fall within that, because some people think pop only falls into, like, I don't know, like Taylor Swift
Dance
songs
music,
or
I
dance
guess.
music, or something of that sort.
Well, like the top 50 hits, like when you listen to top 50 radio, it generally doesn't have like hard rock or anything crazy in it.
Yeah. But I mean, for me as a musician, and for me as somebody who does write lyrics and who tries to portray something that has a story or has something very powerful behind it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think I mean I've wrote a couple songs that literally are just random lyrics. Black Stallion's lyrics are just a bunch of random words that we just kind of threw together and called it. I mean, that's just how we wrote that song, and those things happen. It just happens to be a really, really good song. But on the inverse of that, Breakdown, that song is really about some like real personal stuff, not for myself, but within my.
But it's also
my
very
close
simple
family.
lyrics. The meaning behind them is heavier than the lyrics themselves.
Yeah, but I mean,
Because
even
you
then,
sing it in such a way where it can be relatable to anybody.
yeah. Well, I mean, for this one, I guess in this case, it's like,
Come here.
for Breakdown, that one is very specific. That one's like
Audio.
mental health and being able to like,
No.
being able to associate yourself to know that you need some help and being able to find it. Now to jump onto that one, our newer song that we just wrote and we're like starting to play, A Near Miss. That one's a little bit more open to people to interpret how they want.
I feel like in general, people will interpret it how they see fit if they find a song relatable to them. And that's what makes a song become popular.
Yeah. But I feel, though, there's some songs that are very specific, though.
Yeah.
Like they use specific terminology or they use specific imagery for it to sit in one spot. And there's not a whole lot of room for it to kind of move around as far as, like, it can be subjective.
Yeah.
But that's the one thing that I've been noticing is just, I've been trying to expand my overall music catalog. I've been stuck in one spot for so long that, I mean, I'm literally going through my emo phase now, which I'm, a decade over to, a decade too late. But that being
like
said,
a decade and a half.
Yeah, a decade and a half. That's true. But that's the thing is that I've been trying to open myself up to a lot more different stuff. And, quite honestly, the one thing that really opened me to listen to different types of music was country. I don't know what it was. I
like
think
who though?
Well, I mean, it was
it
Blake
when you
Shelton.
started listening? Blake Shelton.
Yeah. So it was more pop country, but
So wait, what song by Blake Shelton?
I got his whole album.
You listened to. How do I not know this?
He's known this.
No, I know you listen to Garth Brooks now, but
oh yeah, but that's because that was after. But that's what really kind of opened it
yeah,
up.
and that Sangria song by Blake Shelton. I didn't realize you listened to his whole album.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I don't go and click it and go and listen to it, but I'll listen to it when it comes up.
Okay. I love Blake Shelton.
But that was just because Google Play, when because I use their streaming service, when they would give like random free albums.
Kathy just messaged me. She said, "Sorry, I had to go cook dinner. We're making tacos."
Oh.
Enjoy your tacos, Kathy. And family.
But that was the thing. It was like, it was a free album, so I was like, why not? I'm gonna take a listen to it and see if I like it. And there was some good stuff, and then it started expanding me out, and then just now I'm like listening to like some really heavy like metal music and like post-hardcore. And I mean,
you listen
do
to
you have anything that kind of
I
branched you out?
I always listen to everything.
Yeah.
I listened to country in high school. I listened to post-hardcore, and now I'm just like not interested in like the post-hardcore screaming stuff because I'm like, it just kind of raises my blood pressure, and it's not how I calm down anymore. I do listen to a lot of Paul Taylor, which is jazz and much like calmer music, and I love that. And that's something, Yeah, and I heard Paul Taylor when I worked at Mainstream. That was one of my coworkers would play Paul Taylor a lot on the jukebox, and I was like, who is this? And I just like fell in love with it. So like Paul Taylor is definitely like a weird, like out of left field that I listen to.
Interesting. Yeah, that jazz is really tough for me.
You should listen to Paul Taylor. You'd really like it.
Jazz is
Because
really
I
tough
always
for
thought that
me.
way too. And then like when I listen to his stuff, like that's so good.
But
He's so good.
in like the
I'll
grand
play it for you. You're going to love it. I
like
promise.
in the grand scheme of things though, like post-hardcore and like polyrhythmic, music is essentially just more modern jazz, just with distortion and a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the part. Like, it makes your head hurt. Like, okay, don't get me wrong. Like, I love it. I just, it's, I don't know how to explain it. Because I used to love it. But for me, it's like, I can't, like, I just get angry when I listen to it. And I think it's because it takes me back to that place where, like, I used to be, like, really mad about life and things.
Yeah.
And so for me, I don't like to listen to it because it takes me back to that place.
I mean, I guess that's fair. I mean,
but in realistically, I mean, the Used would take me there too, but the Used was a little bit more like crying and not angry. So it's a little bit feeling your emotions, not like wanting to punch holes in walls. So I think that's why
no, that
I
makes a lot of
prefer
sense.
to process it that way.
That makes a lot of sense. I think in my head, because there's a lot of music that I'll listen to that throws me back to like high school or like middle school.
Okay, what's like the one band that like reminds you of like 10th grade, like your first day of school, 10th grade? What do you got?
Band?
9th grade, something.
I mean, all I really listened to in high school was 80s hair metal.
Okay, so what's the song? Or the band?
The band?
You had to have had a band. It was like the band, like that T-shirt you wore all the time.
If anybody, it would be Veins of Jenna. I think that would be the band that kind of really...
Whom I had never heard of until we started dating.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they weren't that... Well, actually, for all my, like, millennials and 30-year-olds right now, it's gross to say, but if you watch Bam Margera, Viva La Bam...
I know, yeah.
Their intro was Veins of Jenna.
Yeah, but I didn't know that. I mean, like, I used to watch that, but I didn't know who that was, and I didn't... Well, it's kind of weird because I'm surprised that I was never like, who sings the little song for that? Because I loved that show. But for me, like, every time, like, I watched, like, Bam Margera and all that shit, I would just... Don't swear, Chelsea. I would just think... Everything, like, him reminds me of Bam Margera.
Yeah.
Like, that was the only thing I ever related.
That's fair.
And him, for me, was just past the line of way too whiny.
Yeah. I'll agree. There's only
like,
a couple
I listened
to
the Used, and then him was right on the other side of no thanks.
Yeah.
So I couldn't listen to a lot of them either. It just wasn't my favorite. I know a lot of people that liked him, and it's fine, but it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, I think what happens too is
I had a wide range, but I had lines.
A lot of MTV, producers would just make intro music. Like, they weren't an actual, like, Bam Margera actually used their song as the intro instead of, MTV producing, getting a band and say, hey, like, make an intro song for what
right,
this
they just like
series
picked
is supposed
something,
to be.
but
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
And I know him was a really big, like, I don't know if it became big because of that. I know it was a really big band, but
yeah. But I think
became
that's
one
what,
in that community, I guess.
That's
emo
why a lot of people were like, oh, it's just an intro song, like, because it fits.
Yeah.
That's why I think a lot of people didn't understand that.
I was really into Good Charlotte. I got a burp and it's not happening. That's gross. Excuse me. So I had a bunch of, well, I guess that was more like middle school, but it did carry on to high school. Yeah. And then I didn't realize, like, my cousin had mentioned that Good Charlotte was the band that was playing at the house party in Not Another Teen Movie. And after that,
that's right.
After that, they, like, a year later, that was when they recorded Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous, and that was what blew them up.
Interesting.
But they were playing like Little Things or something, which was like a song off their first album.
Yeah.
In the Not Another Teen Movie. Weird. with Chris Evans, Captain America, America's ass.
Yep. Before he was America's ass. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, it always comes down to being subjective stuff, and that was the one thing that I was really kind of wanting to touch on, because it was very, you know, us being in music or loving music and being around it all the time. It's something that kind of like hit me in a point to like, is new music kind of getting a little too bland? And, you know, I think it just depends. If you're talking about, a perfect example, actually. I was.
Wait, I feel like I need to rewind. Whose music got too bland? We've talked about so many bands. I feel like I'm lost.
No, I'm just saying in general.
Okay.
Like
just music in general.
Just
okay.
music in general. Something's just like
yeah. Okay.
Popular.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Back to the topic. Got it. Okay. Here I am. We're back.
But
I'm terrible at this.
I was driving. I was in the car with my mom, and she was listening to, I think it was Usher. I can't remember what song it was.
Confessions,
but it was like one of the. It was like on the radio. It was a really popular pop song, and you know, she's just like singing it, whatever. And I'm listening to her sing these lyrics, and then I look at her. I'm like, "Do you know what you just said?" And she said, "What? I'm singing." And I'm like, "But you realize what you just sang?" And essentially, it was just
your
like
mom.
My mom, yeah.
Does she get along with my mom so well?
But
they'd both be singing Usher. I have no freaking idea what they're saying.
But the thing, though, is that I asked her, I'm like, "Did you just realize what you just sang?" And she's like, "No." And I repeated it back to her. She's like, "Oh, my God. Like, I didn't know that I said that."
It's like singing Uncle Cracker, where you're just like, "Follow me." And then you're like, "Oh, that song's about cheating on your wife."
Yeah. And it's like, there's a point where people just like melody and they just want to dance. They like and the lyrics are just thrown in there for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, music is music. If you feel it out, then that's great. But one of my big touches is Michigan band, I Prevail. I've been watching a lot of their music videos and stuff like that, and like they're a really big band that I've been just really listening to over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But, like,
I know you've been listening to them a lot.
There's a lot of their stuff like that they'll talk about, and they'll actually like go through, like, the lead singer was going through a lot of mental stuff. Like, I think I can't remember because I went through a lot of their videos, but I think in one of them he kind of said that he would try to commit suicide and kind of talking about that whole stuff. So it was a lot of stuff that they kind of like went through, and as a band as well.
He tried to unalive himself.
Unalive himself.
That's what we say now.
Got him. So
we're learning. Trying to be internet friendly and sensitive.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, he tried to take his own life, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the way to say it. And but it's just kind of talking about that and just the struggles that they went through. So that's why like I wanted to bring it up, because it's you know, I do listen to a lot of the radio hit songs and stuff like that, and you know, a lot of like, I mean, I have no idea what Bad Bunny even sings, and I speak Spanish.
I love Bad Bunny though. I didn't at first. I'm still, I don't know.
But I have no idea what he says sometimes. So it's fine. I mean, for me, a lot of it is just more rhythmic stuff.
He has like better nails than I have like half the time.
No, I mean,
Bad Bunny's a whole vibe.
He's on a
he's a
level,
whole vibe.
Amanda said Good Charlotte reminds me of middle school.
Yeah. Okay. So when I was in middle school, like 6th grade, I had 6 Good Charlotte shirts. One for every day of the week, except for Sunday. That's when I would have to wash them all.
I actually listened to Good
Charlotte embarrassing.
when I was in middle school.
Did you?
When they came out, I did. I think I won their CD.
CD.
I know, right? In a school thing, like a school contest or like points or whatever. You remember the little Weebos?
Weebos?
Did you ever have to do Weebos? So I'm not okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Explain.
They were like little tiny little puff balls with like a sticky legs, and they had eyes, and like they had different types. I mean, all my Burroughs and, you know, Ridgecrest friends would know, because they would do that all the time. They'd be like, you'd have to sell like magazines or whatever, and then you got a certain amount of Weebos, and then once you got to that point, a certain point,
I don't
you got
remember. I don't remember Weebos.
you can like find something. It was Weebo or something like that. I can't remember, but it was I think that's how I won their CD was through that.
Okay. Like where Weebos were like points, like cash.
Yeah, like
Okay.
more things
Okay,
you sell, the
gotcha.
better
Yeah,
off
so it's
you
like one
are.
of those fundraiser things, like you get so many points or whatever. They just
Yeah.
weren't like called Weebos for us. Or maybe they were. I don't know.
Yeah. So we're getting close to the end of it. Let's say about like 15 more minutes, so a couple more topics. But
Maybe one more. The way we talk about things
Yeah, I
and
guess
go
that's
off on our
true.
rants.
Go off on our tangents. But real quick though, like one of my topics that was on there was like, what would you guys like us to talk about, or is there subjects you'd like us to talk about?
We're back. We want to know. We're about you,
Yeah.
the people that are here. There's 3 of you. I think one of them is me. Thank you.
But the idea too is for us. I mean, we have our discussions and we do whatever, but we try and see the comments and see what you guys say, so that way we can have you guys be a part of it as well. So, if there's something that you've been thinking about, I kind of want to see, and I don't know, I have to look it up, but there's a way to do like anonymous stuff where somebody can like send us something anonymously. Like
you could
through
just,
a
like-
different site or something.
I mean, you could just send us through Instagram. It won't be anonymous like for us,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
but I won't tell anybody.
Yeah, I think for that, I think to keep it like 100% anonymous would probably be a good thing too. So, just to kind of have as a discussion topic and stuff like that. I guess we'll try and keep things non-political, just because that's what we're trying to keep away from. Because there's a lot of random crap that's going on in the world. So that's all I'll talk on that. But is there like weekly things you want to talk about? Is there monthly things, or is there a subject that you would like in each episode that we like try and like put a little slice into that kind of talks?
Amanda wants to know how we met, our first impressions of each other. Does everybody want to know that though? Because that's just like us. Amanda, you'll find out at the wedding.
Oh, I know, right? How did we meet? I mean, I guess we can jump on this real fast because the next subject will kind of go into that, and sort of. Although that subject, the last subject is a little.
We talked about how we met on like the first episode.
Yeah, but Amanda didn't see it. Maybe.
Amanda knows how we met though.
Oh, we'll
Chris
give
doesn't
the
know.
cliff
Maybe
notes.
Chris is there watching.
We'll give the cliff notes. of
Is
the whole
Chris
thing.
there watching? I need to wait like 8 seconds for her to reply because of the delay.
Yeah. All right. So how we met. So we kind of knew of each other through college when we were going to the Art Institute, and I got a call from one of my teachers, or an email from one of my teachers that said, "Hey, we need a band to come and record. Is your band open to do it such and such day?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're down to do it." And we go, and we getting our stuff set up, and so I'm just like kind of in the vocal booth getting my stuff ready, and they all come out, her and her class come out, and they're starting to kind of run cables and all that stuff, and I see her, and I was like, oh, hello. Now, most of you that know me, I'm into blondes, and she was very blonde at the time, so I was like, oh, hello. And so
Amanda, at this time, I was talking to you about Robbie. It's fine. I'll say his name. This is when I was talking to you about him, how I was interested in him. And he was in my class when his band came to record.
yeah. So I made a comment to one of the guys, and I was like, yo, see that one girl? He was like, yeah, I saw. And he's like, that's right up your alley. I'm like, yes, sir. So we do the recording.
Right up your alley.
And so we do the recording. Everything's fine. We never talked, but that was the initial like kind of saw each other thing. Fast forward, I don't know how much time, but we end up going to the school did this like concert thing at the House of Blues downtown, And
Yeah, it was like an AI thing, something.
yeah, it was like all the bands that were like in AI that were like playing.
There was a title for it, but whatever.
Yeah, and
Irrelevant.
so I was talking to a couple of our professors that were there, and I was just telling them how much time I had blocked off to record. Well, she comes up and she's like, "Oh, so you're the a-hole who took all the time and I can't finish my homework." So I'm like, I'm sorry.
I needed the studio time, and I lived in Vista, and I had a job or two. I think I had 2 jobs at the time too.
Yeah.
So I had very limited days to also schedule with my freaking partner for that project.
Yeah. And so I told her, I'm sorry, like, and I told her, like, you can come in, in the morning or sometime during the afternoon or whenever you want to come in, you just let me know. And she's like, no, I'll just figure something else out. And and I always say this every time I give this story because I was legitimately just trying to be a good person. I was like, all right, look, here, I'll give you my number in the case you change your mind, so you can either text me or call me so I know you're coming in, so we can either save or we can just expect you, so that way we can plan a break or something around that time. She took it, and we were still talking.
I took his number and I never called him again.
I know, right? So I was like, I felt bad and stuff, but either way, I was just like, hey, you know what? Let's go grab a beer. And we're like, we go and grab a beer, and we're hanging out, and some of the other bands were starting to play, so we go back.
Also, too, when we went in from the patio to the inside, we had to like change to like glass or whatever, or
glass cups to plastic.
To plastic, yeah. So he poured his beer, but he didn't tip it. And I worked at a brewery, so I was a fucking beer snob because I'm a dick sometimes. We'll edit that out later. It's fine. We're like past 15 seconds in, so we can whatever. So he like poured it just like this instead of like tilting the cup. I like my hands here. I hope you guys can totally see the invisible cups that I'm holding. And there was so much foam, and I don't remember what I said to you. I was like, you do not know how to like pour a beer or something.
Yeah, something.
I said I was like a dick.
And
but that's my sense of humor. If I'm mean to you, I like you. Like, it's pretty much it. That's how it works.
But what's hilarious is the bouncer's face after she said it. He was just like, and starts laughing. And I was like, I know, because I was just trying to get in. I was just like, whatever. I mean, we had a couple drinks before we went in, so to me, I didn't care. But
yeah, wait till you guys hear about what I said to Fabian when I first met him.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised Fabian even likes me.
So, yeah, we go into to where the stage was, and we were just hanging out the whole night, and then at that point the rest is kind of history from there. But that's the first night we actually like met and like interacted with each other. I mean, first impressions.
I'm putting
was,
my
like,
toes in front of the camera. Sorry.
I mean, first impressions I think was like, for me, wasn't so much like you were a terrible person or anything, but you definitely had attitude, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but I'm like, but she's fucking cool though.
Your family didn't like me either. They said I swear too much.
I mean, it's a different.
They got used to it.
Thing. It's a whole different thing though, when it comes down to that.
Bentley, may he rest in peace. I remember when he was like, "Are you a Marine?" And I was like, "No, I just live with 2 of them." And he was like, "Oh, that explains it."
Yeah. But that being said, my first impression was I thought you were really cool. You're really open to, like, I don't know, talking to me, because you didn't have to, but you did. I mean, we hung out, and then from there things kind of just progressed how they did. But
then he asked me to stay at his house.
When? Oh yeah, that first night. Yeah,
that first night.
Again,
because he didn't want me to drive all the way up to Vista.
I was just trying to be a nice person. I even said I would sleep in the living room. She can sleep in my room, or vice versa. She never called, so that's fine.
That was great.
But here we are. 10 years on in June.
You're gonna be married next year.
Yeah, 10 years in June. But yeah, and
Okay, don't tell him that because Amanda, he gets mad when people tell him he looks like Bruno Mars.
I don't get mad. I mean, before I did because I was in that type of mind space, like back then that I was like, oh, like I don't want to be associated with this guy or whatever, and I want to because I was like so caught up on myself, I guess, that I just wanted to be me. Like I wanted people to see me and not see somebody else. I don't care anymore. Like my hair is like insanely curly, so if I were to like just leave it out and put a hat on, it kind of gives
You
it.
used to leave your hair long though, and you used to always wear a hat.
Yeah.
And then
mean,
I
it
didn't
kind of
like
looks
when
like
you
it.
cut it, but now you've always cut it and you
I
leave
mean,
it cut.
it kind of still gives the
Well, now you kind of like
Bruno,
have to cut it because of work, but
Bruno Mars kind of vibe going on. But I mean, even then, like back then, I was like, yeah, don't call me that. But now I'm like, oh, if you think so, cool, whatever. I mean, I don't care anymore. But that's not the first time somebody said that I kind of look like Bruno Mars. But back then,
freaking Fabian.
I guess I.
Facebook isn't letting him in. He's trying to join.
Oh, I wasn't paying much attention to that.
No, he just texted me.
Oh.
Sorry, slight break.
But
I like that I just said frickin' Fabian. That was really rude of me. I wasn't trying to do that.
But that was one of the other questions, or one of the topics I wanted to go into is
I don't know how to make a link.
There's been a study that more and more recently, like marriages have been failing more and more and more often, and it's kind of like a weird thing to bring up because we're gonna get married next year, and we're really looking forward to that, and this is like a really weird subject to bring up, but I also feel it's something that should be talked about.
What are we talking about?
What was? Damn it, hold on. Let me figure out what the prompt was. Why are marriages not lasting as long as they used to?
Oh, so we're circling back to the first topic you had because people don't communicate.
I think a lot of it too, and what ends up happening is people, I feel, jump a little too early into something, especially when it's like really young as well. I think that becomes a big factor because I mean I know a lot of people who got married right out of high school and they're still together, and I've heard stories of people getting married like super young, like pretty much as soon as they turned 18 they got married, and then they've been married since then, and those are stories that you do not hear often, and I feel like that's also a rarity. So but I also think like between your 20s, I think you're still learning who you are, what you want, what you're looking for, or any of that sort of thing. But I think a lot of the reason too is that a lot of people start to feel like they're missing out on a lot of stuff, or they are they feel.
I'm back now. Sorry, I was trying to communicate with Fabian.
No, that's fine. Like they feel like they're obligated to do something, or somebody changes either in either direction, and that's where I think a lot of communication comes from. Because
Communication.
Because I also feel too that people, a lot of like marriages that end up happening really early, it kind of tends to jump straight into. They have kids, or that's why they got married, is because they were having kids or something. But
almost like people like change from when they're younger, and if you're not growing together, then there's, whatever.
Yeah,
it won't work.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing too. Is
Fabian's here.
Oh.
Hi.
Hey. But sorry. That was one thing that I saw that study was starting to come up, because I also think too, where the big change is that a lot more women are wanting careers. They don't want to be the stay-at-home mom or just be the person at home all the time waiting for
Well, the thing
a
is,
husband
we're
to bring
still
back
expected
whatever.
to be, and there's like a lot of like, there's like a lot of things that I see where like men are just mad that like men are just mad.
They are just mad.
that, that like women don't like clean the house and do all the other, stuff, but it's like we're also working 40 hours a week. Or if we don't do those things, if we're at home raising our children, like, then you try raising the kid.
Yeah.
Like, and you probably won't, like, the house won't be spotless, and that's not like realistic to ask anymore. It's just not, especially in a world where a lot of times you can't pay the mortgage without the both of you working.
Yeah, especially
Not
now.
only,
Yeah.
yeah, and not only do both of you have to work, both of you have to be making a certain amount of money for it to even be worth paying for childcare. Like, there's just a lot of factors that are much different than it used to be, and that's how it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I think because I've seen people get married after a year together, or several years. I mean, we personally know some people. It took them 8-9 years before they got married, and I mean for us
Yeah.
it'll be 10 years.
Almost 11 years when we get married.
Yeah, we'll be married at 11
11
years.
years.
But I think some people say, "Oh my God, that's too long." Some people will say, "Oh, that's good," or some people will say, like, "Oh, like if he hasn't married you yet, then it's never gonna last." I think a lot of it just comes down to really knowing who the person you want to be with, because for
But
me,
the
at
bottom
least,
line is, like, we always talked about, do we want to get married? Yes.
yeah,
Is it, financially responsible to do it now? Like, no. Then as long as we're on the same page, whether we get there, tomorrow or next year, it doesn't matter.
exactly, yeah.
As long as we know that that's a part of the future, that's all that matters.
And that was something that they were talking about in that study. So they were saying that a lot of it is just there's a lot more educated women, and there's a lot more women that are waiting to have kids. There's a lot more women who are waiting to get married because they are now no longer thinking, from the past couple generations. I don't want to say the past generation because I feel like that's kind of where it started, was the last generation where things started kind of picking up and women started
Working.
Yeah, started working more and doing stuff. I mean, I wouldn't want to say boomer thoughts or anything of that sense, but
I don't even want to say like elder millennial. Who's above us? My mom's not a boomer. Isn't it her parents that'd be a boomer?
I have no idea.
I don't
even
know
know where
how.
the
I don't
cutoffs
even
are.
know how the thing works.
I don't know where the cutoffs are, but I think that. But they were saying that in that study that it's just
If anybody knows, put it in the comments.
Yeah. The study just comes back to saying that because all these things are happening, that's why either marriages are failing or they're not lasting as long, because women are starting to see like, oh, I just don't want to just be a wife. I want to have a career. I want to be able to
I want
do
something for me.
Yeah,
Not just like, I don't want to be just like creating offspring.
exactly.
I don't want to just be a mom.
Yeah, you want to be your own person.
Yeah.
Like having kids should be a thing between the two people.
There's also like a huge movement of women that want to remain child free.
Yeah.
Which is also completely acceptable.
Yeah. And with the advances in just in medicine and I mean, I would say technology too, that also helps, it helps women kind of prolong having kids a little bit longer. Like they can wait longer and not have to do it so early. I mean, medical stuff still ends up being a thing, and it still starts to become like a like a cautionary thing if you're gonna wait, but it's no longer like.
Well, you can plan it differently. You can make it a plan, not just like hope this works out. Like you can truly like plan it out and make your future happen that way.
Exactly. Yeah. So overall, I just think
if you have money,
I think all of it too. A lot of it just comes down to just like talking and being able to understand where you want to go and what you want to do, and just overall, yeah, just the communication of saying like, yes, like I want to get married, and this is what we want to do. But at the same time, like there's compromise, and there's always like things that just need to be worked out between everybody,
Yeah,
between the two. So,
for sure.
but yeah, I mean I think that's it. I
That's
think
it.
that's the
That's all
first
you wanted to
episode.
cover.
Yeah,
It's the first episode.
yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you
And
all, like 5 or 6 of you. Y'all are freaking awesome.
yeah.
Tell your friends we're back.
And one thing we want to leave you with a little fact. I don't know if this is factual or not. I forgot to look it up to see if it
This
was
is your homework. So look it up and find out if it's true.
yeah.
We'll leave you with
So
homework every time.
apparently, Brussels sprouts, they used to be nasty. Like not a lot of people really liked them. So apparently, breeders in the '90s started crossbreeding them to make them more sweeter, which is why right now there's been a huge insurgence of Brussels sprouts being consumed and why people like them more. That being said, though, I don't know if that is true because I just feel like people just smother it in either bacon or cheese, and
And then it
just
makes
call
it like
a day.
taste fine.
Yeah, I don't like Brussels sprouts.
I
'Cause they
like
taste like
Brussels
soap.
sprouts sometimes when they're smothered in bacon.
They taste like soap to me. But that's a topic we'll talk about.
Yeah, my mom just joined us and we're about to leave.
Oh no.
Hi, Mom. Bye, Mom.
But that's the subject we'll talk next week. About mental. Wait, what is it? No, genetic disorder.
Genetic disorders.
About how if you eat cilantro and it tastes like soap, or if you eat Brussels sprouts and it tastes like soap.
I've got more things we could go on with the genetic thing, so this will be fun. Tune in.
Yeah.
Talk about genetics.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Well, thank you guys again for joining us. And like I said, we're going to try and do this more often. We're going to try and do this every Sunday at 5 for
We'll see y'all next Sunday.
all our friends in the East Coast and our family as well. So that way you guys can join and it's not too
My
late.
mom thinks cilantro tastes like soap, by the way.
Really?
And I don't like cilantro that much either, so maybe it is a genetic thing.
I love
And she
cilantro.
tossed it down to me.
It's possible.
I don't like... I don't love cilantro.
I love
But
cilantro.
I'd never put it on anything on purpose.
It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll cover that next week on Down by the Stream.
We'll see you guys. And if you guys missed it, we're going to be uploading it to YouTube. And this will be
Mom said
available.
she still likes it.
We'll also be putting this up so you guys can review as well. But next week, or in between now and next week, send us topics you'd like us to talk about or anything that we should cover or we'd missed. Or if you want to bring back a question that we were talking about earlier today, then we can jump on top of that. But until then, we'll see you guys
See you
next
next week.
See ya. Sweet. Kept it down to an hour.
Yeah, that was good. That was perfect.
So 4 topics pretty much covers the whole thing. Also, the cat didn't get to the steaks.
I think he went upstairs. Like 10 minutes ago, but I knew we were almost done, so I was like, I'm just gonna hold it. That was fun.
Yeah, that was good.
I like that we only kept it to an hour. I'll think of topics you don't have to every week.
No, I mean, I don't care. You just have to be okay with those topics end up being. So let me make the moves.
mom's like cilantro soap, but I still love it. I guess it's kind of how I feel. Like it kind of tastes like soap. Like it tastes a little weird to me, but like I still like I don't put on anything on purpose, but I can still eat it.
Yeah. Oh, I should probably stop